The question mark is now the track, becoming drier, slicker by the lap in the events that we've seen in the lead-up. They'll need to be mindful of that in a couple of key places.
Oh, you can feel the tension, you can feel the pressure, the nerves are up. Everybody wants to win this race. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Brayton, the championship's out of the way. He wants to go and win and prove, hey, we are fast down here, and I'm going to take this one.
Depth of talent. Grant Langston said it earlier in the evening. The depth of talent, even in this final, is phenomenal. Doesn't get much better than this. Legendary Ryan Villapoto wowing the Australian crowd. Reed on bike 22. Here we go. Reed gets a nice jump on bike 22. Brayton gets a better jump, though. Oh, block pass by Reed, and he forces Brayton wide. Brayton's last on bike 10. Villapoto leads the way.
Chad Reed there, very aggressive in that first turn, probably realizing, hey, my biggest competitor is the number 10. Gave him a block pass, nowhere to go. Brayton's been in arena cross before. He's probably had that happen to him and done that before, but how about this? Ryan Villapoto out in front.
This is a 20-lap race, but that's a heck of a lot of ground that Brayton now needs to make up. He is in last place, 12th in this race, as Reed sizes up what Villapoto's got. He said before race, I've got probably 10 good laps in me. Dramas for Reardon, Daniel Reardon.
Well, the fact that he was picking his bike up on the start straight makes me think that the turn off the finish line, maybe he got a little help, a little ushering off the track there, but who knows. But Villapoto still leads. Chad Reed in second. And look at this, Cooper Webb.
Cooper's coming.
He said he was feeling a little bit better tonight, was tight. Said possibly even a little jet lag was hurting him a little yesterday. And we both noticed he looked a little off. But tonight, looking racy. Reed takes a look over his shoulder, just having a look who it is. And look at the dust on it come up. This track is slick. So expect some mistakes, especially when these guys get a little tired later in the race.
Here's a recap. So Brayton has the advantage. He's wide. Reed elbows out. Brayton is then boxed up against the wall, and he's back in 10th. He's recovered to be in 10th. That's what happened to Daniel Reardon.
Yeah, we couldn't quite see exactly because of the corner screen, but I think there was some help from another rider.
So Villapoto.
Reed up the inside. We said it's about a second quicker. Villapoto probably caught off guard a little bit, and there he goes.
Shannon's shortcut works for Chad Reed. He takes the lead as we go to Lee.
Well, boys, we've got Chad Reed in first and Cooper Webb in third place. And, of course, Villapoto in second, holding his head high at the moment. But could we be staring down the barrel of another 20-lap race that we had Sunday night last year? Now, that came down to the last corner. There were centimetres in it.
Yeah, good point that you make. And it was, on that occasion, it was Cooper Webb. Chad had dominated the Saturday night. There's Webb in the background, closing in on Villapoto.
Well, I've said it before. These are the three everyone's been talking about. You've got Cooper Webb, your future. Ryan Villapoto, your past. And he lets Cooper Webb by, gives him the signal. He said, I'm here to have fun and do a show for the fans. Maybe get a little tight and tight, figuring, hey, if Cooper can go after Chad, let the crowd have a great fight just like last year. RV, maybe just feeling the effects of, as I tell people, you can go and practice and train, but when you show up at race day, it just takes so much more energy out of you. So Reed in a great position, got a nice little comfortable gap over Webb, who, I thought was going to uncork the quad. Villapoto still quadding out of that section.
Awesome stuff. So Webb is chasing and chasing hard. We'll keep a close eye on his lap times for you.
That's what's happening in these whoops. And that might be the difference. Webb messed up there and lost all the ground he made up probably in the last 2 laps. Look at the lap time this time around. Chad Reed a 32.4, but Webb was still a 32.4, and he probably lost about half a second in the whoops. So I think Webb's got the pace.
Shannon shortcut.
There he goes.
Use it. Nice work.
That's
by Cooper Webb.
That's where he's making it up. We didn't see if Reed pulled it that lap around. But Cooper Webb looks rejuvenated tonight. And who is that in the ground? It's Marmont. Oh, Jay Marmont, after a fantastic podium result last night that I think shocked a lot of us. Down in the whoops, these whoops are just becoming brutal later in the evening.
Lee talked about them cupping out earlier in the night. So are we starting to see some of the big guns of this sport feeling the impact of that, Lee?
Yeah, we sure do. Let's see if anyone's going to uncork the quad here. Cooper Webb just nails it. How about Villapoto? There he goes. What a massive leap here at AUS-X Open.
You'd spot to watch, a little envious, to be quite honest.
Well, when we were down the track a little bit earlier, I walked that. On TV, I was like, oh, they should be quadding. It's not that bad. And when I stood there, I looked at it, I still thought, you know what? It's still a big gap. Because you go from like a weird transition in that rhythm section, and you really have to fully commit, give it everything. Let's see if Reed does it. Triple in. And Reed not doing it, that's what's costing him. But the difference with Reed is he's so consistent and fast through the whoops, he just pulls it right back out.
Just smooth. Triple, single through that one. So nice play.
But look at him in the whoops, so stable.
Gives you an idea of the gap. Back to Cooper Webb. Bike 2 in second position. Here's Ryan Villapoto in third. Dean Ferris chasing him on the 111. And it's Kyle Peters. Chris Aldridge. Oh, Brayton making some ground now. That's Brayton looking for a move up the inside. Doesn't quite complete it there. But he's staring down at 6th place at the moment. We're nearly at half race distance. That's a pretty good recovery from Justin Brayton.
Yeah, Brayton, you know, bit of the silent assassin. He'll just come through, maybe not aggressively over the top, but all of a sudden you just start looking at the lap times and the timing and score, and you go, oh, wait a minute, he's coming back in it.
Ooh, couldn't get it there. I reckon it's almost hit the concrete. Lost traction.
These guys sand surfing through the Sydney beach area.
Beautifully done on the whoops, though. It makes the ground, gets by Aldridge. That's the position. He's up into 6th place now.
Aldridge just not quite a great drive through the whoops. The bike started to rock, almost like a rocking horse, bouncing back and forth. Brayton had a good forward drive, made that pass quite easily.
Back to Justin Brayton, newly crowned champion in the SX1 class, the American who won the Australian title. Here's your race leader, Chad Reed, by 1.9 over Cooper Webb.
And Webb is closing up again. If Webb can just make sure he doesn't mess up those whoops, he's going to, I think, continue to close that gap, because he's going triple quad, and that's, I'm telling you, that's gaining half a second. Everywhere else, I think they're the same except the whoops, where Reed sometimes brings it right back. But watch Webb, he's following Reed's line through whoops now, going almost exactly the same line, trying to do the same thing. Webb probably trying to figure, one thing Webb will be able to have the luxury of is learning from the best whoop rider in history, Chad Reed.
And remember, just that section up to their left there, they can reuse the start straight once. It is called the Shannon shortcut. Backed by Shannon's insurance, they can have a crack at it once in the race. Reed coming up on some lap traffic as we go to Lee.
Okay, guys, just a quick one. Chad Reed has used the Shannon shortcut lane. However, Cooper Webb hasn't. He has to be close enough to be able to put it into good use, though.
Ah, that's a good point there. We don't always get to see who is able to take it and not. We can't focus on every rider every lap. But that is a great point, because Cooper Webb needs to close this gap down, and possibly, if you can get close enough, uncork it on the last lap, this place would go ballistic once again.
Nice work by Adam Edignap there, I think it was, on the 722. He went down the Shannon's shortcut, and that enabled Cooper Webb just to focus on that battle with Chad Reed. That's the gap back to second.
See Webb starting to get that bounce just like that. Oh! These whoops so tough. And down, is that Peters? I can't see. No.
Jesse Dobson, I think it is. 414.
We were just saying, watch Reed. His bike barely moves. Whereas Webb's starting to bounce, and we've seen the other riders. The whoops are getting cupped and uneven. Lee talked about it earlier. We always knew, watch, see, once you bounce and you miss a few, right there, you know it's going bad. From bad to worse. Almost rides it out. Kind of comes out okay. Probably got a little roasty on the elbow there, because look how slick and packed the dirt is right now. It's become a little more like an ice rink.
And he's bailed out of it, I think, Jesse Dobson. He's headed back off track as we focus on the lead once again. The advantage that Reed has over Webb is 3.2 seconds. So time running out, about less than 5 laps to go. Let's see what Cooper can do. The 111 goes down the inside. That's Dean Ferris, the Shannon shortcut, but Brayton is ahead of him, up into 4th position. Justin Brayton, great recovery considering that incident at turn 1. And now camera gets roosted, covered in sand. Let's go to Lee.
Well, down here, guys, off camera, Chad Reed just had a massive moment through the rhythm section, triple on and triple off. Fortunately for him, he doesn't normally suffer from arm pump and any other rider, and that would have rattled them a little bit.
I think Villapoto used the shortcut lane, the Shannon shortcut that time by as well. We focus back on Justin Brayton. He does a nice job there through the rhythm section. Beautiful. And that is Villopoto up ahead of him. So he's closing in on third place. He's doing a ripping job through the Sydney sand, through the tunnel. And look at him on the whoops. American has the eyes on, focused on the legend, his countryman, Ryan Villopoto.
I think it's that point of the race, though, where Villopoto's in survival mode and Brayton's adrenaline is probably still running from being punted off in the first turn. And even though Reed helped him off, it was not dirty. It's the first turn. They just rubbed elbows a little bit. There was nowhere for Brayton to go. Back to the front, Reed maintaining this lead. He's really good. When the track gets real slick like this, Chad Reed uses so much clutch. He'll have the throttle maybe wide open, but he uses the clutch to release the horsepower evenly. Very good on these slick conditions. And we're trying everything, but just cannot close up that gap.
Great sense of anticipation too, isn't there, in terms of what the corner coming up might be like. Aware of the fact that, got him. That's for position. Justin Brayton moves up into third place ahead of Ryan Villopoto.
Yeah, you kind of knew it was only a matter of time, but still a solid ride from Villopoto. Good start, hanging in there. The moment in fourth, which would be, I think, a great result from coming off the couch. Reed still there. Oh, there's a Shannon shortcut for Cooper Webb. He's going to close that gap. He wasn't close enough to obviously do much about it, but he closed the gap.
And we're on the run home, so it was the last roll of the dice for Cooper Webb. Chad Reed looks like he's going to do it for the second day in a row. Out of the sand, into the whoops where he's so strong. They erupt here at the Kudos Bank Arena. He can relax, he can roll off the throttle. Reed does it.
Cooper Webb taking second place, and then third place across the line. Right now, Justin Brayton.
Brayton into third place ahead of Villopoto. That's actually a really good ride by Ryan Villopoto. But they're on their feet for Reed.
Taking out fourth place.
Man, he has just been on rails this weekend. The focus, everything. I mean, there you got Cooper Webb. He's supposed to be the next champ, the future star. Chad Reed's supposed to be the guy who's on his way out. You go look at the racing this weekend, I think it might change some people's thought process.
You know, he said typically I frown on racing at this time of year, but he does it because he loves coming back home, coming back down under. For those that have supported him for so long back here in Australia, he grew up just a couple of hours from here in Curry. I mean, this is just, he's in great shape for 2017, it would seem.